Good.
Now, you probably wondered why I can just have all power and go like Kyle did. Well, like I said, it's a rear-wheel drive. So that's when you see a lot of the cool cars going out there, spinning their wheels and burning some. Alright, last but not least, some people's favorite thing about their car isn't just the performance or how it performs, but the way it sounds when it's performing. Now I'll have Kyle here fire her up. Hear that? That right there is 450 horsepower, big block V8. Now if he gives it a couple little revs, you can hear a nice, deep, girthy sound. That right there is true power and true American muscle. Here we are, back to my favorite, the Subaru WRX STI. And as you can notice, the exhaust tip is a nice big one. You can actually fit your shoe into it. Not that you would ever need to. But this right here, it's called a catback exhaust. Oh, turbo back catback exhaust. It is about that big all the way to the engine of the car. It just flows right through, and you're gonna hear a big sound difference between this and that. Go ahead and fire up, Kyle. Notice it's a little higher pitch because it's a 4-cylinder as opposed to the big block V8. Now if he revs it up a little bit, notice how you hear some gurgling and some backfires. That's because the size of the exhaust just allows a lot more airflow. You can leave it running, Kyle. And we'll go over here and he'll pop his hood for us. Pop it. We'll show you the blow-off valve. The cool thing about a turbocharged car is the turbo works by pushing pressure and air into the engine, which allows it to get a lot more power and performance. So when that turbo is done pushing that pressure, it has to go somewhere. That's when you get a trusty little blow-off valve like this, and you're gonna see what it does. Stand back a little bit. Okay, Kyle. Notice it lets off a very high-pitched air squeal. That's because of these holes. You can get different blow-off valves which have bigger holes for a more like a, or you can get little ones like these. They even have ones with tiny little holes that make whistles. They're pretty cool.
Beep.
So what do you prefer, tuner or muscle?
I prefer a tuner. I have a Honda Civic myself. Tuners seem like you can work with them a little more, you know?
Yeah.
That's just my feelings on it, and you know, some people stereotype them to be racer cars, but you know, if you do it right, it can be more of a, you know, a Japanese more than a Mexi car, you know?
So this here is yours?
Yes. This is
You done anything into it?
as far as engine, no. I've put a lot of sound and other than that, a couple lighting things, HIDs, things like that.
Oh, cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
My family, my dad, my uncle, my cousins, they are like diehard domestic fans. They have, I mean, my dad owns a Chevelle, Camaro, Clone 502, so they're domestics all day. Myself, I'm not against domestics in any way, but I prefer imports just because what am I going to be able to afford? A 4-cylinder that costs, you know, a couple $1,000 for the motor, and it's going to get 20 to 30 miles to the gallon in town? Or am I going to be able to afford some big V8 that's going to cost about anywhere between like 3 to, you can spend unlimited money on those things, and it's going to get like 5 miles to the gallon. So import, and they're more reliable, more dependable.
So you have nothing against domestic, just overall?
Nothing against domestic, but just for me and what I would use the vehicle for, imports are just way more usable and user-friendly.
All right.
You can drive them around. You can't drive a big built big block.
Yeah.
So.
All right, sweet. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So, sir, what do you prefer, tuner or a muscle car?
I prefer import.
Import, so tuner.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Alright, so just for the record, how did we meet?
Oh man, I was at work and I saw you pull in and you went to the parts department at where I worked. I had to go talk to you.
What was I driving?
You were driving your 03 Bug-Eye.
Yep, just like this one. So a Subaru, a tuner, brought us together. So, what do you like about the Subaru culture, the tuner culture?
Well, I mean, it's not really different from most other cultures. I mean, yeah, you got the big block V8 group that says they're better than everybody else, which you might be. But yeah, the way the Subaru, we're a lot more tight-knit. Everybody helps out everybody. I mean, I was over on the side of the road one time with this guy. First time I ever had to worry about that. And some Subaru, just this guy in a 93 freaking Impreza comes pulling up. He's like, "Hey, you want some help?" Sure. And he drug my broke ass to a convenience store where I could actually get transmission fluid.
Yeah. And we all wave to each other every time we drive by. That's a proven fact too. Every single Subaru owner, if you wave, they'll wave right back.